Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sumukasya Ekadantasya Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodharasya Vikato Vignarajo Vinayakaha Dhomaketurganadhyakshaha Palachandro Gajananaha Vakratundaha Surpakarno Herambaha Skandapurvajaha Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopasanteye Yasyadvaradavaktraadhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vighnam Nighnanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vyasam Vasishta Naptaram Sakte Pautram Parasara Bhattar Bande Sukatatam Taponidhim Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namaha Avikaraya Suddhaya Nityaya Paramatmane Tadaikarupa Rupaya Vishnave Sarvajishnave Yasyasmaranamatrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchyate Namastatmai Vishnave Prabha Vishnave Om Namo Vishnave Prabha Vishnave. We came up to that point with Bhagavan's grace in last session. Then let us continue with His grace. Sri Vaisampayana Uvacha. This part we just finished is the beginning prayer, which is not in Mahabharatam, and it is not given in the Bhashyam. Okay, we covered the two prayer slokams that Sankara Bhattar has given in his Sankara Bhashyam, and this part now we are beginning is in the Mahabharatam in Anusasika Parvatam in 149th chapter, and this whole section up to a point is there, and then later on again the elders have added a few things which I'll show you. I'll tell you what those are, and then the Sahasranamam will continue as given in Mahabharatam itself. So this portion that I'm starting now is in the way we recited today. It's the second part. The first part is the prayer. The second part is what we're going to cover now, and this part is in Mahabharatam. And also, it is not. No, it is given in the various Bhashyam. Okay, this particular part is also covered in the Bhashyam that we spoke about, Sankara Bhashyam, Bhattar Bhashyam, and Ragavendra Swamigal Bhashyam. Sri Vaisampayana Uvacha. Sri Vaisampayana Uvacha. Srutva dharmana seshena pavanani cha sarvashaha Yudhishtira Santanavam punareva bhibhashata. After composing Mahabharatam, Vyasa was teaching that to his students, and he also taught all the 18 Puranas, including Bhagavatam. And the Bhagavatam was propagated, was shared through Sukhamuni, and Mahabharatam was shared with the humanity at large, for whose benefit it was composed through Vaisampayana. Vaisampayana was a teacher, a disciple of Vyasa. So Sri Vaisampayana Uvacha, Vaisampayana said, Srutva dharman aseshena pavanani cha sarvashaha Yudhishtira Santanavam punaha yeva Abhyabhashate. Okay. Yudhishtira had been asking and clarifying various doubts. With not only doubts, it is always extremely beneficial and sacred to hear the knowledge from people who know. Not people who claim to know, but people who really know. And you sit there in all humility, and when you listen to them, all your doubts will be clarified. There will be no more doubt after that. It will be so precise, and it will be so authoritative. So he came and talked to Bhishma, asked several questions, pertaining to Raga Dharmam, Moksha Dharmam, Dhana Dharmam, what is the dharma associated with charity, how should I administer the kingdom, what are the various rules I should follow, the dharmic rules, and what is the way I should conduct myself. The dharma, artha, kama, moksham, the purusharthanga we have. What is the pathway? What does it really mean? So that finally I can attain moksham. What is the moksha dharmam? Then he talked about these various kshetrangal and kshetradanangal, the tirthangal, the sacred places. Why should we visit those? And when we visit that, what should we do? How should we conduct ourselves? And what are the various uses for which the various parts of our body has been given. It is not being given just for enjoying ourselves. It's given for a purpose. So that basically today we call it a service, seva. So how should seva be performed? And then what is how to do it? That the how is always very important in spirituality. And it's not the what, it's the how that is most important. And then who is the adhikari? Who is the one who is actually doing all this, right? And so what is my right and what is my responsibility in doing any piece of action? So several questions like that he was asking Bhishma, and Bhishma answered every one of them patiently and extremely lovingly and in as much detail or in as much brevity as required, depending upon what the question was, what the mental state of mind of the receiver, the student, the Yudhishtira was. Correspondingly, he described everything with so much love and affection and the sharing the knowledge. Yudhishtira was completely at peace, because he came there with lots of mental agitation of thinking that he had committed great sin. Now, after listening to Bhishma, his mind was absolutely pacified in Shantam. Then after doing all that, then he asked questions pertaining to the welfare of humanity. Vasamasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. The text, then he asked those questions, that questions will cover. So Srutva, after listening to Dharman, the various Dharman, Aseshena, without leaving anything at all, no residual, okay, completely, totally, Sarvashaha, Pavananicha, Sarvashaha, all the various things that purify, and the various activities that the dharmam is all the activities, when you do it the correct way, the how of it, then it becomes automatically purified. Sanctified it becomes. Sarvashaha, all of them. How we ask all questions. Yudhishthira, Santa Navam. Santa Navam is translated generally in two ways. And my personal preference, as I learned from my master, Bhagavan himself, I will share that with you. That's the second meaning I'll give you. The first meaning is as given in the Bhashyanga. And the Santa. Santa in this case denotes Santanu, Santa Navam. Okay? The Santanu, Bhishma was born to Santanu and Ganga, Ganga Devi. So the son of Santanu is the Bhashyangal has been written. The son of Santanu is Bhishma. Yudhishthira spoke to Santanu's son, who is Bhishma. Shanta Navam. Shanta Navam. Navam means new. Something that illumines freshly. Okay? And after having clarified all his doubts and specifying all the mental agitations and the feeling of guilt or whatever it is, and after clarifying all that, the result was what? Shanta Navam. He attained peace afresh. Okay, Yudhishthira. Punaha Yeva. Okay, Punaha. This is very important. Again. Okay, Yeva only. Again, Abhyabhashate. He spoke. Yudhishthira spoke. The Shantanavam as Bhagavan explained to me, Yudhishtira attained a state of peace. Why is it? This is very important to understand it that way, because when the greatest knowledge of the Atma Vidya itself is being spoken, your mind must be completely at peace. Otherwise, you will miss the message. That is why, even though the greatest knowledge there is, knowing which all things to be known are known and nothing else remains to be known, that knowledge is being spoken to us all the time, continuously, 24/7 in our life by Bhagavan in the form of the universe, so many things, but we are not hearing it because our mind is not at peace. Here, Yudhishtira attained that state of mind in order to receive the greatest knowledge that there is from the person who knows. And in that state of mind, when mind becomes absolutely peaceful, then the Sarvaloka Hiperataha, as we saw earlier, that we're talking about Vyasa, right? And your automatic tendency and inclination and aptitude and the way of life will be for the welfare and well-being of everyone. And that is the frame of mind with which Yudhishtira asked the following questions. He asked 6 questions, and it is given in 2 slokams. Okay. Sri Vaisampayana Uvacha Srutva Dharmana Seshena Pavanani Cha Sarvashaha Yudhishtira Santanavam Punarevabhyabhashata Yudhishtira Uvacha Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kim Vapekam Parayanam Suvantakam Kamarchandaha Prapniyur Manavas Subham Ko Dharmat Sarva Dharmanam Bhavata Paramo Mataha Kim Japan Muchyate Jantuhu Janma Samsara Bandhanat. Those are the 6 questions there, those 2 slokams. Now, the very first one is, in all the things, so you understand the efficacy of these questions. I can translate this to you in a simple manner and move on, but you will miss the efficacy, okay? Because these are the questions that we ourselves are struggling with all the time. And if you understand the questions properly and the context in which it is given and why it is given, then you will appreciate the answers even more. And then you will see the exalted teaching, get a glimpse, an insight into the exalted teaching that Vishnu Sahasranamam is. The very first one, in all the things that we do, and we think we know, right? And some of us become proud in the knowledge that we have acquired. Some of us have become proud because we think we're intelligent and smarter than somebody else. So all the things we understand quickly, and so many things we do in our life. Okay. The interesting thing is the knowledge, as we call it. Okay, that is called pramanam. Okay, pramanam, the knowledge can be known through personal experience, through reading scriptures and understanding it mentally, understanding it intellectually, understanding it academically, or the knowledge can also be due to what we call as Bhashyam, similar to like when there is a smoke, that means there has got to be fire there. That's the thing that we know. So knowledge is known in is the 3 types of knowledge in that sense. Now, that is called pramanam. But what is known, that is called prameyam. Now, whatever we know, okay, whatever thing we know, whether the universe is expanding, whatever thing you talk about, there is always an element of doubt, an element of uncertainty, okay, because we don't have complete knowledge. That is why every discovery is always followed by additional discoveries because the knowledge is not total. That prameyam, when we know whatever we know in our own limited way, we have to sift it. We have to filter that, even that little bit knowledge we have, and we have to take only what is beneficial. That means prameyam, whatever we know in our limited way, is very important. We must do a constant filtration, a selection process, and pick up only that iota of knowledge within what the limitations, what we know, that benefits us, that is beneficial. Okay, not only us, also beneficial to the whole society. So that is very important. Now, this prameyam, this thing that is known, has got two classifications. One is called ubayam, the other is called ubeyam. These are Sanskrit words I am saying first and then explain to you in English, then you will understand the beauty and the precision with which Shankara Bhagavad is speaking. Okay, ubhayam and ubheyam. Now, ubhayam simply means the mode of doing something, the sadhanam, something that is very important to do a piece of action. Okay, and there are 5 of them that are given in Bhagavad Gita. That's another issue. Point is, in order to do any action, you've got to have so-called tools to do that action, whether it is mental tool or knowledge or physical or whatever it is, or time or opportunity or skills or whatever, right? So that is ubhayam, okay? Now, ubheyam is the result of doing that. So far, I'm sure that you understand. So far it's clear, right? So to do an action, you need certain tools, certain modes, right? Certain things that facilitate it for you to do anything. And the result of doing something that you obtain, that is called ubheyam, called sadhyam is another one, something that has been attained. Now, the result that you obtained also has got 3 classifications. It can be priyam, priyataram, and priyatamam. That means, priyam means, it is love. It is something beneficial. We all want love only and we all seek love only. So some results, we call it, we are very happy, it happens the way we want, right? And that is priyam. And something happens even better than what we want. So that we are even happier. And the best possible outcome, right? Makes us so happy. So putting it in a very crude way, that is what priyam, priyataram, priyatamam means. Actual meaning of that, of attaining any result, is that it must touch the love within us, and it must make us more loving, and it must make us love itself. That is the final result in any action. So priyam, priyataram, priyatamam. The same way, ubhayam, the mode and means of doing something, has also got 3 classifications. Hidam, hitataram, and hitatamam. That simply means when you do any action, you must always do it for a beneficial. It should be beneficial to yourself, to the surroundings, and to everybody, all the beings around. That is hitam. When that itself goes into a next level of benefiting, that is hitataram, an additional degree. And the best benefit that can happen is hitatamam. So this is on ubhayam and ubheyam. Okay, why so much there? So that you understand, this is what happens in every single piece of action we do and single piece of knowledge that we get, if you really think about it. Now, in doing things this way, in a very beneficial way that benefits everybody, we have lots of obstacles, don't we? And in obtaining the result, we have lots of obstacles, right? Things don't happen the way we want. And what are some of those, if you look at it? And in terms of attaining a result, what happens? We get the result, but the result is not constant. It keeps changing, and sometimes the result even goes away. Today you might make some money, and my money might grow or might decrease in value, or you might also lose it, as an example. Everything that you find, yes, it has got a birth, it has got a death, it has got a change, it has got growth, and it has got decline. And the other difficulties, the obstacles we talked about in the first prayer to Krishna, right? All those are there. Plus our what we call as our karma phala, and so many things happen, right? That is constantly preventing us from being the love that we are and experiencing the love that we really are. So understand that in terms of the result. In terms of the action itself, do we get to do the action all the time, the best manner that we want? Sometimes, you have to spend lots of effort, sometimes lots of money in achieving something. Sometimes you don't even get an opportunity to do something. And sometimes you get result that is exactly opposite or not something that you desired or what you expected out of that action. And sometimes you get only very little result for a major maximum effort that you put in. All these things are the deficiencies in the way that we operate in terms of doing things and in terms of obtaining things. Why do all these things take place? Because the gunangal, the characteristic tendencies that we have, whether it is sattvic, or rajasic, or tamasic, they combine in different ways and produce different results and produce different types of efforts and so many things. Because of that, that also gives us doubt. And what doubt it is, what do we think in our mind? We think Narayana is superior to Shiva. We think Pralayar is the best. We think that God is not good. In our own mind, we have this question of this particular thing. When I get something better than that, the previous thing looks a little bit smaller. And like that, we have in our own mind incorrectly, we have made that gradation. Right? In fact, there is only one Bhagavan, but we are not able to appreciate it because we limit that Bhagavan to a name and a form that appeals to us personally and think that is what Bhagavan is, everything else is not as good. So when this kind of a doubt that we have created, wrong understanding we have created, the very first question that Yudhishtira asks is because of the way that we all live and so lovingly and so beneficially benefiting all of us, he wants to clarify that. Hey, people are suffering because of this mental gradation they have put in. There's only one God, but who is this God among all this in this world? Kim ekam daivatam loke. Who is the one God? Okay, now that we have to understand, okay, there are a couple of phrases here that we have to attach to every question. What are those phrases? Kim ekam daivatam loke prapnyuhu manavaha subham. Okay. Kim ekam daivatam loke bhavatah paramo mataha. Okay. So let me explain those two phrases, then you will understand. So, which is the one God? Okay. Is it Narayana? Is it Shiva? Is it Muruga? Is it Lakshmi? I mean, so many things we have. Is it Hanuman? So many people. But there is really no gradation. It's the same entity appearing in different facets of it. Please remember that. And that same thing is nothing but prema. But we make a mistake. Okay, we do all the divisions, we do all the limitations. That's the worst thing we can do to ourselves and to Bhagavan, to limit him. And claim that he is only this. Who can say Bhagavan is this only? Nobody can say that. Not even, as Jay says, even Bhagavan himself may not be able to define him. That is how it is. So, please understand the efficacy and the importance of the very first question. Kim ekam daivatam loke prapnyuhu manavaha subham. Manavaha means one meaning is one simple meaning is all men, all humanity. Manavaha, one meaning. Manavaha means Ma Navaha. Ma means not. Navaha, new. We are all not new. We are all as ancient as the indweller within each one of us. We are all as ancient, as eternal, as Prema itself. Right? We are not new. Okay? So Manavaha, that's one meaning. Another meaning is Manavaha is one who is got mind. Okay? And there is Annamaya Kosam, there is Pranamaya Kosam, Manomaya Kosam, Vijnanamaya Kosam, and Anandamaya Kosam. These are the five envelopes, five planes that we exist, each one of us. And you can immediately understand very briefly this body that we give so much importance to, decorate it in so many ways and put it in front of everyone as if we got the best body and all this nonsense. That is only consisting only of the food that we eat. Nothing more. The food goes, the body goes away. Then we also know we take breathing, right? We call it pranan. That is, we exist at that plane also, pranamaya. Then manomaya kosam, the mind. All of us live really in the mental world, the world created by our mind. Then there is vijnanamaya kosam, which is the discrimination, and then finally anandam, because that is what each one of us are. Now, manomaya kosam. Now, we have Manavaha also means one people who got the Manomaya Kosam, beings who got the Manomaya Kosam. So it refers not only to humanity, but also other jantukal, other beings that have mind. That includes a snake, includes an ant, includes a butterfly. All these things have mind. Okay? So, and human being also. So Manavaha, all the human beings, all the beings that are pulled and pushed by their mind, who live on the mental plane, okay, Subham Prapnyuhu, so they can attain Subham. Prapnyuhu means to attain, to obtain. Subham means there is lack of misery, lack of sadness, complete well-being, equilibrium, nothing but enduring, everlasting contentment and peace. So, Kim Ekam Daivatam Loke Prapnyuhu Manavaha Subham. That's the first question. Now I hope you understand it. Then he also says, very beautifully, this is very important. Who can say this is the one God? Who I think only Bhagavan only can say that. Why I am repeating repeatedly in our session that Prema Eva, only Bhagavan is God is love, and love only. Love is God, God is love. Live in love. Because that Bhagavan himself has said, talking about himself, who it is nothing but love. Okay? So who can say that? If the same question were to be asked to me, I'm not qualified to answer. So he says, next one, Kimekam Daivatam Loke Bhavataha Paramo Mataha. That also you got to attach it to every question. Bhavataha, in your esteemed self, in your referential, in your revered self, in your worshipful self, with an extremely respectful way of addressing one person, okay? With Bhavataha, okay? This beautiful way. Paramo Mataha. In your opinion, Mataha, it means in your opinion, Paramam, which is the most supreme. Kimekam Daivatam Loke Bhavataha Paramo Mataha, which is the one most supreme entity, Daivatam, the most effulgent one, the effulgence of all effulgence. Bhagavan, we call it God, but Bhagavan, okay? God, the word does not capture it. Bhagavan also doesn't capture it, but at least points to something. Who is that in your opinion, in your you are a worshipful person, you are a most revered person. In your opinion, what is the most supreme Bhagavan there is? One Bhagavan there is. That will give Subham to all the beings. See, he is asking not for his benefit. He is asking for the benefit of the whole humanity of all the world. Please understand that. This is the teaching we get from our rishis and elders. This is how we must approach our life, for the well-being of everybody. Kimekam Daivatam Loke Prapnyuhu Manavaha Subham. Kimekam Daivatam Loke Bhavataha Paramomataha. Okay, you understand that. Why he asked the very first question is, this Bhagavan, this one, this is now we call it as the result, the essence of what is to be achieved. Ubeyam, right? Remember that. The final thing, if you achieve this, everything else is achieved. So the very first question in our modern language is being asked from the point of view of defining what the result is. Okay, what the result is. Now later on he's going to be asking about the action to get the result. So Ubhayam. Okay. First question is Ubeyam. Even in the Ubeyam itself, he's talking about the Paratattvam, the final goal. Please remember that. Okay. Beautiful. Second question. Kim va api ekam parayanam prapnihu manavaha subham. Okay. Kim va api ekam parayanam. Parayanam. Parayanam does not mean, as we say in our modern language, I did Sundarakanda Parayanam, I did Ramayana Parayanam, Bhagavata Parayanam, Saptaham, all these things. No, that is not what Parayanam is. Parayanam is just not mere reading, okay, a scripture. Parayanam is reading, imbibing, and living with it. And complete imbibing meant mind is fully occupied in it, where it has lost itself. Like the way Parikshit was when he was listening to Sukhmani. That is Parayanam. Okay? So who should we worship in a way that immerse ourselves in? Kim, who, va, and, api, and va, or, api, and, ekam, the one, Parayanam. So, prapnihu manavaha subham. If I immerse myself in Bhagavan, I immerse myself in the prema and become love itself, what will happen to the world? All the manavaha. Then, through me, the world will benefit, will attain subham only. This is what Mahatma calls, this is what Kanchi Paramacharya or Ramana Maharishi or all the devotees, even now when we read the stories of them, we feel good. That is how the subham of the world, the well-being of the world is caused not externally, but by one single person changing himself the correct way. The world becomes good. Okay? This is very important, that subham, it becomes, you give benefit, benevolence, and benediction for the well-being of all others is by changing oneself. And the changing oneself is what he's asking. Kim va api ekam parayanam. Who should I, which daivatam which God I should do parayanam to? So, all the beings attain subham. Kim va api ekam parayanam bhavataha paramomataha. In your esteemed opinion, who is that God? That's the second question. Okay. Then, third one. Stuvantaha kam. Kam stuvantaha. Who should I do stuti to? Stuti. Stuti means worship, pray, praise. When you praise Bhagavan's qualities, even though Bhagavan is beyond qualities, when you praise Bhagavan's qualities, when you talk about Krishna's Leela and how he shares the so much love that is there, what happens to you? You become that loving also, isn't it? This is the beauty of Bhagavan's description of Bhagavan's gunas. Why? Even though he is gunatitaya, guna atitaya, he is beyond all the gunas, there is a huge indescribable bliss in describing his gunas, because we ourselves become blissful. We become that much closer to Bhagavan. That's the beauty. So stuva means to praise. Praise means not the modern terminology of praise where we do mukhastuti. That is not what it is. This is the real. When something is worthy of praising, okay, when we say that, then how do you feel? That's an honest praise. That's a true. So who should I praise to? The qualities, the attributes that I ascribe to that, and then I praise it. Who should I do that? Which Bhagavan? Kim Daivatam Stuvantaha Prapnihu Manavaha Sudham. So that all the Manavas, the humanity, who should they praise? What they are all praising each other. That doesn't get us anywhere. Who's the real praise, the real one that I should do? So Subham is attained. The final thing is Subham, right? Who should attain? In your esteemed opinion, is the third question. Fourth question. Kam Archantaha. Archanai. Which, there are so many ways we worship Bhagavan, right? Because it is classified in 9 different ways by Prahlada. Okay, in Bhagavatam he has given us, and one of them is Archanai. And when we Archanai means do the formless entity, we try to, so that our mind can focus, we give it a form. It can be Narayana, it can be Balaji, it can be Pralayar, it doesn't matter. And then in our own limited but yearning that we have, we offer flowers and we bake that Vigraham, that Murtam, that form, the same way. We know how to take a bath. We don't give it a bath the same way a crow or a snake takes a bath or a lion takes a bath. We know we give it a bath in the way humans do, because that's the way we know. And then we talk to it in the way we talk to ourselves. Then we dress it up in the way we dress ourselves. So this thing we do, this has been taught to us by Bhagavan himself, by Srimad Narayana himself. That's why Narayanadri in Tirumala Hills is Bhagavan Srimad Narayana himself came, because people did not know how to do this worship, how to find an outlet for this yearning we have to become one with that Bhagavan, that one with that love. So this is what you do. So we call Shotopacharam, right? So Shotopacharam, the 16 different steps we have nowadays. That Archanai that we do, to whom I should do? Kam Archantaha. So that Prapnihu Manavaha Subham Bhavataha Paramomataha. Kam Archantaha is the fourth question. Fifth question. Now, the first one talks about the Ubhayam, the final result itself. Then he started talking about the Ubhayam, right? The Parayanam, the Suti, Archanai. And then, now he comes to another set of Ubhayam itself, which now comes to on a worldly conduct. What should I do? Ko dharmaha sarva dharmanam bhavataha paramo mataha. Ko dharmanam. So many dharmas are there, Varna dharmam is there, Ashrama dharmam is there, dharma of a husband, dharma of a wife, dharma of a father, dharma of a mother, dharma of a child, dharma of a friend, dharma of a worker, dharma of a leader. I mean, the dharmam is continuous. There's no break from it. And what do I do at any given situation? I got to speak the truth. I should not hurt anyone, right? Satyam vada dharmam charayat, instruction. It's not easy, right? It is not easy at all. Even though we all want to do the dharmam properly, we are not able to do it. We fall down. And that question Arjuna asked, why is it happening? Everybody wants to do the right thing. How come they are not able to do it? Because of our desires, right? Selfish desires. So, here he is asking, ko dharmaha sarva dharmanam bhavataha paramomataha. Sir, in your esteemed opinion, what is the most supreme dharma among all the dharmas? Dharmam is crudely translated as righteous conduct. A conduct that does not harm or hurt anything, anybody, or any time, the past, present, future. Okay, and the conduct means thinking process. I should not hurt anybody. Speaking, no, and physical action also. So how is it possible? Every step I take, probably I'm killing some jantus there, right? So how is it possible to conduct this dharma? And also, what is the most supreme dharma there is?
Please tell me. Bhavataha paramomataha. That is the fifth question. And the sixth question is, Kim japan muchyate jantuhu janma samsara bandhanat. This is the one we're all struggling with, whether we realize it or not. First, we must understand, that where the bondage is, how the bondage is. Next, then how to get rid of the bondage. Janma samsara bandhana. Janmam, to take birth. Samsaram, all the interplay that comes with all the actions and reactions from the past that we have carried through, and in the present that we carry through, all the experiences that we have, never-ending experiences, bandhana, the bondage. I cannot escape from it. It's a roller coaster, happiness, sadness, misery, pleasure, it keeps on going, right? Can I control it? I cannot. It is bandhana. I mean, I can. The idea is I can, but we're not controlling it. Bandhana, this bondage, janma samsara bandhana se, muchyate, jantuhu. All the jantuhu means all the beings that are born. Not only human beings. Janmam. Okay? Jantuhu, janmam. Janmam means the root thing jan is to be born. So all the beings that are born, that includes all the 8.4 million types of creations that is there, including a fig leaf, and everything, including a bacteria, for example. Not everything that is born from the birth, how to get rid of the bondage of the birth so that it doesn't have to go through the mixture of sufferings and pleasures and continually going on, muchyate, to get freed from. Kim japan, kim daivatam japan, which God that I should do japa to. Now, japam. Japam is, Bhagavad Palal explains it, and that is the meaning we're going to take. Okay, is in the mind, and this is what the answer is going to be given by Bhishma, so let me not get ahead here. But what japam means, to understand the meaning of a mantram and recite it in the prescribed way. Okay? Om Namo Narayanaya. If that is an Ashtakshara mantram that has been given, let's understand the meaning of it. And then recite it and repeat it in the prescribed way. Gayatri Japam, whatever we say, right? So the mantram, understanding the meaning and doing it in the prescribed way. Okay, and repetitively. So, Kim Japan Muchyate Jantuhu Janna Samsara Bandhanat. So, the phraseology is Prapnyuhu Manavaha Subham, and all the 6 questions are pertaining to that. All the 6 questions are Bhavataha Paramomataha, in your most esteemed self, sir, in your opinion, the most supreme thing is what? And one other thing is Jantuhu Janma Samsara Bandhanat. So, all these questions, Kim Japan, the action, that is, this is an Ubhayam that is given. So, what Japam should I do? And Kam Archantaha, who should I have to see? That is going to Bayam. So, just the result. Here, we're talking about the action. What should I do what should I do? So, all the Jantuhu get released from the bondage of birth and death cycle, and their suffering comes to an end. So they become bliss itself, one with love itself. Those are the 6 questions that Yudhishtira asks, and Bhishma, the greatest teacher that he is, he does not answer the 6 questions in the order in which they were asked, but instead he answers them in an order that clarifies the answer itself, because you've got to answer questions in the proper order, so that the very first question, which is the most important question, Kim Ekam Daivatam Loke, okay, that has to be understood. The answer for that question has to be understood. And so Bhishma answers it in a beautiful way, starting with Jagat Prabhum. And actually, when you get into it, deep into it, tears will come out of your eyes. It is such a powerful answer that he begins with. So today, let us review what we have done. Sri Vaikampayana Uvacha Srutva Dharmana Seshena Pavanani Cha Sarvashah Yudhishtira Santanavam Punareva Bhibhashata Yudhishtira Uvacha Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kim Vapyekam Parayanam Suvantakam Kamarchantah Prapniyur Manavas Subham O Dharma Sarva Dharmanam Bhavata Paramo Mataha Kim Japan Muchyate Jantur Janma Samsara Bandhanat Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om